Hello, ladies. How is everybody doing? Hop over in the chat and say hi.
Oh, you guys are all going to come on with really who's your where.
Yeah, most people turn on their cameras. And we're coming from our couches and beds and all the things.
Oh, so
all right, give everybody
I
another.
literally still have my Spanx on from today.
You wear Spanx? I don't think I knew
Today
this.
we had college award show, and I was wearing a dress that Mama doesn't look the same in as she used to.
I think we all can relate to that. All right, ladies, I'm going to still let people in, but I want to introduce Nicole, and then I'm going to hand it over to her. We are going to do a Q&A at the end, so feel free to drop your questions as we go, and then if she answers them, I'll skip over them at the end. But say hi to her in the chat, you guys. Nicole and I have known each other for actually a really long time. We worked at Northwestern Mutual together. We both were recruiters for what felt like probably a decade. And Nicole is still in that realm, and she's actually one of like the leading leaders in this realm. Like if you guys were in Northwestern Mutual and in that circle at an event, like she would be that famous person. Okay, you guys get it? Like when yes, she is. She is amazing and has had a lot of formal training and coaching in different realms in this area of expertise. And I've learned a ton from her. And I've gotten the pleasure to be a good friend of hers for many years. And she has two little boys. We actually were pregnant at our the same time with our second kiddos. And it's just been really fun to watch her blossom into such an amazing mother. But she actually is in the old Northwestern Mutual office that I was in, and it was the one that she started in. Anyways, long story. But now she is the chief recruiting officer and moving into even bigger roles. But you guys, when it comes to like growing your business, growing your warm market, and figuring out how to expand beyond just like those 10 people you knew when you started in this business, like she's the guru at it. She's had to move to different markets where she didn't know anybody and recruit people for this business. Northwestern Mutual is 100% referrals, just like our business. So she has gone and done it. So she's going to tell us some awesome tips and tricks and walk us through a really pretty slideshow that she's also put together. So without further ado, I feel like I had so many things to say about you, Nicole, but now that we're on, I haven't had anything to drink. So there's that.
There's the first problem. Well, thanks for the introduction, and I feel the same about you, Erica. Erica and I, like she said, have known each other for a while and are definitely cut from the same cloth. So I think a lot of the philosophies that you hear today, you'll probably hear a lot from Erica's teaching and coaching. And we worked together in a lot of capacities. She actually was my fitness coach once I knew how amazing she was in that space. And so we just bounce ideas off of each other a lot. And as she mentioned, I am moving into the space of Chief Development Officer with Northwestern Mutual and have worked there for about 15 years in total. And the cool thing about what we're going to talk about today is not so much I'm a skilled expert on anything. It says my internet's unstable, so chat me if I end up cutting out. But it's not so much that I'm an expert um, in any of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. However, I do have a passion for the art of prospecting because I do believe it's an art. And I know that so many of you are here to build your business in a substantial, sustainable way that feels really good to you. And that's what a lot of our advisors at Northwestern Mutual are trying to do as well. And so I think there's a lot of parallels that we might be able to find throughout tonight. And feel free to interrupt me with any questions. Again, out, and so if I am talking fast, forgive me, I just get excited. But I titled my presentation, I'm going to share my screen here, and hopefully I don't mess up any kind of technology by doing that. It's loading, so hold on a second. Can you see it? Oh, it's telling me to share with groups, share with people in groups. Oh, present. Here we go. Huh. I'm not a tech expert. All right, can you see it? Am I good?
Yeah, we can see it, Nicole.
So I called it the art of prospecting for a reason, because I believe in most sales environments, there's two sides to every business. There's the science and the art, and the science is the numbers. It's like knowing you have to talk to so many people to get X amount of sales. And then the art is the intangibles. It's the innate characteristic in the relationship building and being able to develop rapport with people. That's the part that I really geek out about, is actually that you might want to consider implementing in your business as you're continuing to grow in whatever capacity you want to. But we use the word prospecting a lot, and you might be asking, like, what is prospecting? And we find in our world that prospecting is usually the best way to build your business, because most of the time people want to buy from people that they know and trust, or they want to be referred to someone through someone that they know and trust. And so I firmly believe that if you do focus on prospecting with intention, that you'll see greater results, and it will feel like you've done the work to get there, but things just start happening a lot faster. So I kind of just put some key topics that I thought might be relevant. First one being purpose, like understanding your purpose and having your story to tell, because I am more likely to buy from you and want to support you and get excited about your mission if I'm so good at defining her purpose. I'm sure you all know that, but she's in it for so many fun reasons. It's not just about the cool athletic wear that you're representing, but it's the lifestyle, it's the ability to build a business, it's the ability to have flexibility and freedom in what you do. And I think when you define your purpose, it makes the rest of this maybe uncomfortable prospecting piece easier and more fun. And then preparation, I believe, is key. And preparation is a part of the homework, or the like tools, I guess, that I'll give you. But I encourage you to do the homework. Preparation in understanding your market, knowing who your market is, doing due diligence and market research so that you know how to approach your market. And then consistency in your messaging. So it's really easy to get defeated or feel like you have lost a prospect or you've lost a potential client. But sometimes you're just hitting them at the wrong time. You're talking to them at the wrong time. They're busy, they've got kids, they've got families and jobs. So I think that consistency of like, hey, I'm here and I'm really loving what I'm doing. I'm sticking with my purpose and I'm not going away. In the most like cool way. I'm not trying to say to be annoying, but that consistency shows people that it's not just a fly by night thing, that you really are intentional with building your business. And then follow through and follow up is something that I'm really passionate about. Um, it's one of those things that I think is a dying component to sales. This instant gratification is so relevant to our world because we want things so quickly. But in our environment, in financial advising, we use a client building model that actually allows our advisors to follow up with potential clients on a consistent basis. So whatever that is for you, if it's a cards, index cards, or it's in your phone, it's a reminder. It's not every day that we get a follow up or a follow through from someone. And sometimes it's that reminder that really helps us. Oh, yeah, actually, I have really been wanting to throw that party and I'm bored. I'm itching to see my friends. I want to get together with people. And you might be catching them at a better time. I don't know about you guys, but I love text message reminders about things, because like a hair appointment or something that you scheduled out and then you get a reminder and it's like, oh, thank God, if I wouldn't have gotten a text message, I would have forgotten. Or just hey, what's up? I've been thinking about you. Hope you're doing great. And let's catch up soon. You're on my mind now. So when I hear from you again, it's not a surprise. So in my mind, there's just so many components to prospecting that really, again, are relevant across all sales fields. This is a topic that I want to talk about that is kind of, we're going to get a little bit deeper into the psychology of people. And for those of you that have been doing this a while, this is going to resonate with you when I say these two types of people. There's moving away. So I am a moving towards person. You could literally sell me anything. If you tell me that it's going to make my butt look good, you tell me that I'm going to look younger, or it's going to whiten my teeth, or whatever, I will buy it. Moving away from people are almost the opposite. They're going to tell you what they don't want. You're going to be able to discern if they're the right people to prospect with or not. And so where we're going with this is this idea of fact finding your potential client, or fact finding with people in your sphere of influence to try and understand if they're a moving away from person or a moving towards person. So Erica and I talked a little bit about this, and it would be kind of fun to even develop together a fact finder, and you could do your own, or maybe you guys come up with it as a team that's really dialing in to try and identify that from someone. So I'll give you an example. If you were to ask me what I look for in athletic wear, and I say to you, oh gosh, I buy from Old Navy, nothing wrong with Old Navy. I buy from Old Navy. My shirts are gross, like my shorts are ripped. I don't give a crap. I go in, I sweat, and I'm out. And then you ask someone else and they're like, oh man, I have every Lululemon legging, or I love Athleta because they're anti-whisking stuff. And I just think that they really slenderize my legs. You can clearly tell the difference there. I mean, those are pretty drastic examples. But people who are moving towards are more likely to want to support you, more likely to give referrals. And a moving away from person is probably going to need a deeper relationship with you in order to want to give referrals. Does that make sense? I ask questions if you want. I feel weird, just keep talking if anybody has questions along the way. But moving towards people, they focus on what they'll get when the outcome is achieved. So again, I'll use myself as an example. If I bought a new mascara that you told me is amazing, I'm like dying to get that mascara in the mail. They are motivated by gaining pleasure. And those typically are the type of people that are going to refer you, because if they love you and they've built rapport with you, they want everybody to know about you. I mean, I referred Erica to my sister because she was my trainer and she was helping me. And I'm like, you got to meet with Erica because she's so awesome. And she did, because I loved her so much. It's like when we get behind it and we build that rapport with people, we're more likely to refer. So understanding your why, what's your story, is also kind of a key component to this. And again, I think it goes back to the purpose. So why, and internally, why do you deserve referrals? Why are you in this? What's the point of all of this? Why are you trying to build your business? And at the end of the day, what are you trying to achieve? So that could be two-sided. It could be to be that person that kind of changes someone's attitude about how they feel about themselves. It could be the ability to provide for your family in a different capacity than maybe you have before. Could be the flexibility, it could be the freedom. But when you understand your own personal vision and your own personal why, it makes this process of building your business so much easier. Because let's be real, this is the hardest part. Prospecting and getting referrals and building your business is the hardest part, because a lot of times we have limiting beliefs. A lot of times we have junk in our brain that says, oh gosh, they don't want to talk to me. They think I'm so annoying. They're going to hate that I'm calling them again, or gosh, they're going to hate that I'm I'm asking them for referrals. But that's in ourselves. And that's our limiting other side of it. Understanding your why, designing your purpose, having that plan to how are you going to prospect? How are you going to prepare to prospect? Are you giving yourself enough time to think through your strategy of building your business? Have you done your market research? It gives you a sense of armor to support you in continuing to ask and to continuing to grow, and kind of helps mute that head trash that may or may not be going on in your mind. And for some of us, it's a little worse than others. So let's chat about the I want to be mindful of time. I think we're still good. Let's chat about the assignment that Erica and I actually talked a lot about this, because we were thinking how relevant what we assign in our world can be to this world. And so we call this the U worksheet. And I think in this space, a list builder, you could call it a mind map, whatever the case may be. But the idea here is to sit down and really think about people in your sphere of influence. And I always say, think about the people that if you were going to sell or go join the circus, they're like, yes, you'd be the best like clown ever, whoever's going to support you in your wildest dreams. And that's your sphere of influence. That's your tribe, if you will. And then this idea to take it a step further is what we call market surveys. And again, it's kind of target marketing or identifying your markets. And it's coming up with a fact finder. So it might sound something like this. Hey, Erica, I'm actually exploring the opportunity, or I'm actually pursuing an opportunity with Zaya Activewear. Are you familiar with Zaya at all? No, I'm not. Well, I'm really kind of excited about what I'm doing, and there's a real opportunity for me to grow my business. And I'd like to really pick your brain, because I know you're active in your community. You've done fitness competitions, you've worn all kinds of activewear, and I value your opinion. And I also value your opinion about me and my potential to build a business. Would you be open to taking like 5 minutes for me to pick your brain? And most of the time, after you've given someone a compliment, they're willing to sit down and chat with you. And then I'm going to just simply ask her some questions around leisure wear, right? Or her lifestyle, or what is it that she looks for in her activewear, or if she were to find a new brand of activewear, how's she most likely to find that? If she were in my shoes and building a business, how would she like to be contacted? And trying to understand or get some market research on how you can build your business based on responses from people you know and trust. And then at the end of that conversation, I'm going to say, thank you for so much for giving me this information and helping me discern whether or not this is the right fit for me, or helping me give some ideas for my business. I'm curious, are there 1 or 2 people or 3 or 4 people that have come to mind to you today that I might benefit from talking to, or they might be interested in the work that I'm doing with Zaya? And then because I've prepared, if she's like, oh, I really can't think of anybody. Well, hey, I noticed that you and I have a couple of mutual friends within this market. Jenny Smith and Susie Ann and Rachel. Do you think they might be people that I could reach out to? I just don't have their contact information. I wonder if you'd be open to making an introduction for us. Well, yeah, sure. Here's how I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to call them, say in them pursuing or interest in Zaya. And so you see how Erica and I now have built rapport. Now I've hopefully walking away with maybe 5 names of people that Erica is going to bridge that gap to. So, hey, do you mind sending them a quick text message and letting them know I'm going to be giving them a call? They're more likely to take my call because Erica said really good things about me. So I'm creating a systematic approach to how I am marketing, and I'm targeting who I want to talk to. Does that make sense? Erica, do you have anything you want to add there? Because I know you and I had talked a lot about that.
I think the biggest thing that I would say is, like you said, with the preparedness, but then also, and you and I have talked about this, but shut up. So like after you say, like, who do you know? It's like the next thing that we want to do, because there's that awkward silence, is we want to start filling it. But we're not allowing our friend or whoever to like think, like, dear God, let them think, and then kind of go in and help them brainstorm people. And Nicole, you gave specific names. I even think if you don't have specific names, you could go in with genres. So like maybe a workout buddy or somebody who you see showing up on social media often. You can kind of go in and help them say, like, who do you look up to? Who would you follow? Who would you buy activewear from? I think you can kind of even start thinking of those categories too, if you don't have specific names. That just kind of came to mind when you were talking.
That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, like, hey, if you were to go out for wine this weekend, who are the top 5 girls you'd call to go for wine with? Or guys? I mean, who do you play in a rec league with or a co-ed sports with? Who are physical therapists? Gosh, you guys, physical therapists like wear activewear all day, every day, and they want it to be cool looking. So go hit up those male PTs. That's a really good point. What you just made me think of something too. Oh, the shut up part. Clearly I have a hard time with that. One thing that I do, because I suck at it so bad, is I'll like literally have my phone or a piece of paper. I have to have a physical thing. And then when I ask, I look down. Like I have to look away from them. Like I'm ready to write. So then there's an awkward silence and they feel like they have to fill it. It's weird, but it works. So, cool. So let's see. I think so let's kind of go back to, we'll kind of wrap this all up. So if we talk about understanding your client, how to quickly build rapport, the U worksheet is what I showed you before. I think you guys called it the list builder. It's essentially, again, a mind map. The market surveys, identifying your market, that's kind of the fact finder that I told you about. And again, I think if Erica, I'm happy to work with you. If you guys are interested in like creating something like that, I think it would be really wise and nice to have a tool for especially people who are just getting started. And then help really identifying or dialing into those characteristics of people. Don't waste your time on somebody that you know is so far of a moving away from person that it's almost going to be detrimental to your psyche and all of that if you're just trying to talk someone into something. But when you know you have potential in a friend or a connection that you've made, that's somebody that you might want to make what we call a center of influence. And that's somebody who's always on your team and always kind of looking out and helping you prospect and think of new people that might be interested in the products that you offer, or getting together for parties and things like that. And really creating this community of people that are willing to support you as you're growing your business. But that's the end of my slides. Questions for me or anything else that I missed? Oh yeah, this was my last slide. Just ask. The worst they can say is no. What questions did you guys have for me?
Well, hopefully they come up with some questions, but Nicole, I think probably for the masses on this concept of asking somebody, they've probably never done before. So if you haven't ever done this before, where would you start?
If you haven't asked for referrals?
Yeah, if you've never asked for referrals from anybody, like who would you start with? Kind of.
So like my market?
Yeah, or like say, you were
asking my market or what?
Yeah, so most of these girls have never asked for a referral in their life.
Oh, I see. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Meredith said, yeah. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. You gotta ask for referrals. Yeah, this social media piece. I don't see many people face to face. That's a good point. Erica brought that up. So I think that that's where this relationship comes into play. And if I were to start personally, but I'm older, I guess, in the fact that I'm not the best at social media. Although if I were doing something like this, I definitely would have to get better at it. But I think there's a couple of things. I would definitely start with the You worksheet. I would think of people in my world that I could ask for connections to, because they're probably more likely to refer me to people. If I were in a social media space and I saw that somebody liked the work that I was doing, or they kept starring or liking or commenting, I would build relationship with them the best way you can on social media. And that's just creating some sort of dialogue back and forth. Hey, thanks so much for liking my post. You never know who's watching. I really appreciate it. I love seeing pictures of your kids. It looks like you guys are having a great summer. Just creating that consistent messaging. And again, that kind of comes back to being intentional with your time, and maybe making sure that as you start responding to people, you make a list of who those people are. And they're probably a moving towards person if they're supporting you and they're excited about the work that you're doing. They're probably somebody you want to spend some time with getting to know, because they might be willing to help you grow your business. I saw a question here. How do you respond to not right now? Do you set a follow-up date? Yeah. So if somebody were to say not right now to me, I'd say, oh, hey, I totally understand. What's going on in your world right now? Are you just crazy? I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm studying for a test, or my kids are just starting school. There's an opportunity for us to build rapport. And I'll say, well, hey, how about this? I know we're both busy. I'm going to set a time on my calendar 3 months from now to reach back out. Would that be a better time for you? Oh yeah, 3 months from now, that'd be great. Cool. I'll reach out to you then. Maybe we can get together over coffee, or it depends on the type of relationship. You can find like or big cheerleader type and are big uplifters of other. That helps start. Totally. That's that sphere of influence. That's finding the people in your world that are going to support you. And when you put that person in the position of asking them questions about how you can build your business, already feel connected to you. Hey, I value you. I value your opinion. I mean, gosh, Erica gave me so many tips about social media stuff that my head was spinning. But in my mind, she's like the expert at it. So much so that I even have a ring light because of her. And it's changed my life. But I think it's just reaching out to people that you know are going to support you, and then building it from there. So I would 100% start with that You worksheet or the mind map.
I love that, Nicole. So one thing I know that we did a lot in Northwestern that I think we could even do more here at Zaya, is if we recognize that somebody would be really great at Northwestern, like we're like, I actually want this person, we would actually ask them who they know with the same qualities that they had. But we would say like, hey, who do you know that is, outgoing and, blah, blah, blah. So we'd list all these qualities that that person had in order for them to almost go, well, that you're like literally describing me. Is there a better way that you've like captured that over time that maybe I haven't experienced now since I've been gone so long?
Yeah. So when I meet somebody that I really like, I ask them, hey, Erica, so you've been working together for a while. You've thrown a party. You've worn the clothes for a while. What's your favorite thing about Zaya product? Or what's the favorite thing about the party? Did you feel like you went down okay? Like, did you feel like everybody had a good time? So I'm asking you for affirmation. Because once I get affirmation, I can say, oh, I'm so glad that you felt that way. I was so excited. I felt like it went off without a hitch too. So who else comes to mind that's exactly like you? Because I want to meet and grow my business with more people like you. And I'm curious, who's your top closest girlfriend that would feel the same way or be just as excited to have a party or is just as active as you are? So I'm getting the affirmative. She's already told me she had a blast, or she's already told me she loves what I'm doing or loves the product that I'm offering. And now that's a perfect opportunity for me to ask. Does that help?
Yeah, I love it. What other questions, ladies? Nothing? Like you feel confident in going out and asking somebody tonight?
Oh my God, that's so funny. I remind you of Kristen Wiig. You know what? My favorite meme is the one that's like, help me, I'm poor, when she's on the airplane from that movie. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I've gotten that before.
Oh, man, bridesmaids. There we are, Lauren Baker for the win.
What a fun group. This is a good group of ladies.
I know, it's good. And we appreciate your time. I feel like everybody's going to like take this information and it's going to sink in, but I do think it would be fun for us to create the market surveys and do that. I mean, it obviously works. There's tons of 6-figure and 7-figure income earners in Northwestern, and that's how they start. And to be quite honest, that's like some real hard hustle there. That's rough.
Oh, and I mean, this is fun, right? This is a fun product. So I would think it'd be a little easier than it shouldn't be, but it's probably easier than financial planning.
Well, Nicole, you guys talk about morbid stuff like dying and what you're going to do. And I talk about ass and tits all day. Right. So,
well, let me know if you want to do a 2.0 and get it back later. And I think if you approach this with focus and dedication, this way, it takes a long time, but you have more dedicated relationships and more deep relationships that lead to better results, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. I'm with you. I do think maybe we should do a follow-up in a couple months and have that, but I think it's important. You guys see my dog rolling around. I think it's important that they know that like it's such an art, and asking for referrals, like the first time you're gonna stumble over your words and you're gonna like be like, I don't even know why I'm still talking, but I am. And then eventually like it's just gonna be so easy and natural. But you have to just do it, you know, and start with your mom. Hell, like start with somebody who doesn't judge you.
Totally. Yeah, that's why it's so good to start with that warm market.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Any other questions, ladies? And we're gonna let Nicole go. She's got 2 little babies she's probably gonna put down. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. Ladies, give her some love.
Bye. Glad I got to see you.
I know. I'll talk to you soon. I'll shoot you a text.
Okay, bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.